All right, all you devils out there, happy Friday. Oh, shit, what is it? It's 2:30 now, Friday the 11th, and this is much later than I would normally post. I'll tell you, be perfectly honest with you, I've spent the last 2 hours back and forth with one of my senseis here, PK Acevenda, who's kind of my go-to guy. He's my most accredited Elliottian here, and we just struggling to find anything we like. It's just we are just in a kind of a shitty spot here for trading in crypto in particular. It's just chop slop, not terribly technical. It's just maybe better to take a little vacation. Can you trade it? Yes, right. If you're trying to apply Elliott, there's a lot of guessing going on, right? And I'm going to use that as just kind of a launch point here, not to get on a rant, but just to remind you that in particular, in everything that we teach, I remind you again, Elliott Wave is third, not first, right? It's funny. It's the first place people go when they participate with us, join us as a member, or invest in any of our course content. Which even the course content, sure, there's a lot of Elliott in it, but the majority of it is about fibs and median lines and geometry and how they relate when the Elliott is present, but the Elliott is not always there. Now hardcore Elliotticians will tell you it's always there. Account will always present itself, but that may or may not be true. Point is, is it tradable? Can you use it as a tool? If it's not there, which I would propose to you in most of crypto, let's call it elusive. Don't lean on it. All right, there's no chart ever that has been, whether drawn by hand or by computer, ever, that could not be analyzed with market structure. I mean, we either have higher highs or higher lows, or we don't. We're either trending or we're not. There are many charts where you don't have a valid Elliott count, or it's not clear, right? So when it's there, when you can see it easily, it's very advantageous. When it's not there, forcing an Elliott count because you've decided that if you've got to have an Elliott count is really just a mistake. And I would propose to you, in fact, for those of you that are watching here, I didn't even post a video last night. I did for members, but I didn't post anything on YouTube. There's just there's nothing there. Bitcoin, well, let's see. So this was June 23rd. Now we're into August. Yeah, we had a pump, but is there a count in here that's usable? No. What can we say here? Oh, come here. We can say we have an impulsive movement here. Strength, buyers, overwhelming size, call it what you want. And then we just have a drift lower, all right? So we have a swing, we have a retracement. Now, as with every swing at every degree in the market, we're either going to break the low or the high, right? We're not going to go we could go sideways for a long time, but eventually one side's going to break, right? It's just the reality of the markets, right? Either the high or the low, one side's going to break. Because we can identify, it almost wouldn't matter whether you're talking Elliott or just market structure. I have an impulsive move here, right? Or aggressive buying, I would say it that way. And now the drift lower as the market reconciles with that, profits taking, lack of new buyers, call it what you will, right? Or just doldrums of summer. Is this count is there really a count in there? What would be useful? Well, if I had this and then I had a clear 5. Now, can I dig a 5 out of there? Yeah. Do I have a lot of conviction in it? Absolutely not. I get a little bit in here where I could say, okay, I'm just kind of watching the swing structure. What all of this is just liquidity, right? Each one of these potential liquidity sweep. So can we call this 1-2? Well, if we fly out of here, yeah, we're going to call it 1-2. How about this? 1-2. Okay. If we fly out of here, yeah, we're gonna call it 1-2. But what does that mean? We've got what that. See, this is where it starts to get a little bit hard to choke it down. Okay, I got 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. How many more 1-2s am I going to have? We're getting to the point of ridiculous, right? It's too many 1-2s. So I propose to you that don't force a trade in here, right? It's tempting. It's tempting. And part of the reality of trading is that one of the things that you may well have experienced is when you're literally about to just throw your hands up and say, the hell with it. Volatility will return. As a matter of fact, what I was doing here was just trying to look at what is our measure of volatility here. I'm going to take this down for a second. It's just the average true range, right? Just a measure of volatility. So at least we can look here and say, well, now just to clarify, the ATR, there's no directional bias here, right? It's not like, when it's going up, the market's going up, right? It can be going up when the market's going down. It's just a measure of the volatility. What is the average true range of the market? Now, this is a 14 period. Reasonable, right? Default and been used many years effectively. But we can see when we get down here to these levels here where the ATR is 50, we get down to $50, 100, 150. This is doldrums down here, right? Now, that's my point here. As we get down to these levels here, the expectation is we're not going to drift like this forever, right? Again, all you're trying to do here is just look back and say, well, historically, when the volatility gets that low, what tends to come out? What does it stay there? Well, it can stay there for a long time, but eventually we get volatility coming from these low levels. So at the time here where you're just going, oh my God, this thing just, wake me when it's over. That's just the kind of time, right? It's almost like the market let's not get mystical, but it will lull you into apathy. And then it'll take off and you're not ready for it, right? So you want to be watching here, but just something like the ATR can be a good, what you'll notice here, we've been in a squeeze, right? We'll probably go back into a squeeze. It's kind of hard to see here. We're technically not in a squeeze right now because we had a little bit of a pump, but this is not ideal trade. Pardon me. My opinion, let me emphasize my opinion. For all I know, there's guys making millions scalping this. If you're trying to swing trade this, I don't think you have any edge here, right? Which is the bottom line, right? Can we see an edge? I mean, that's about the only thing here that I can if I just objectively, let's put our anchored VWAP on. Oh, here I want. All right, just take the volume profile of the whole thing. All right, now we've drifted down below out of the value area. Now we're coming back into it. We came back right back to the POC, right? It's not shocking. Right, we come right back, just to the edge of the POC, rejected, right? So we know there's likely to be some resistance here. So you might, it's not, we don't need to overcomplicate things, right? We tend to do that, right? If you're trying to apply Elliott, it's easy to overcomplicate it and go, oh, it's a W, X, Y, Z, XZ in a triangle with the Z and the Y. It's easy to overcomplicate, right? And usually, that's intellectual masturbation. Pardon me if that's just too crude, but okay, getting the account on this, okay, but is it useful? We're going to have to come out of here, right? We're going to have to come out of here with some force, right? Volume, buyers, volatility, something here. I've got a little roadmap here. Okay, if we do this, right? Now we'll get interested again. Until then, this is a snooze fest, right? To try and force a trade here, I think is a mistake. Again, I'm just giving you my opinion. I think to try and force a trade here is, again, you're better to go to Vegas. You're just rolling dice here. There is no edge, right? What's the trend? I mean, you could see this easily. Well, again, we come back to volatility. We could easily drop lower. We could go sideways for a while. There's no reason to force something here until we see signs of conviction on one side or the other. Either bears have got to take it. But if we go just real rudimentary here, I'm just going to go swing high to swing low. We've got some air pockets down here. If we're going to come out of this aggressively short, well, this count's going to change. Oh, some sort of W, X, Y, X, Z, some sort of complex correction here. We will be able to identify it, label it eventually, right? Labeling it is almost, again, it's an exercise in an intellectual craft. Can you label it? Great. Can you make money with it? I mean, at the end of the day, who fucking cares what the label is, right? What matters is, can we be profitable? So I think, obviously, you feel my frustration, right? It's just, we've been here this has been just a really boring summer for crypto, right? Now, eventually, we'll break out of here. But right now, there's nothing I can tell you other than to sit on your hands. Now, we're going to go through a few things. I've got to correct an error I made last week, or the week before here on Ripple, where I was scolded by my team. I make mistakes. I'd be the first to tell you I make mistakes on a regular basis. And most of the Elliotticians that work for me are better Elliotticians than I am. That's why I hired them. So here, Bitcoin, let it do something, right? Now, of course, I say that. And something will fly out of here. Okay, great. Don't FOMO in, right? If it's going to be with conviction, do we get an impulse? Okay, well, an impulse will lead to a correction, and something will come out of here. But right now in here, you're just banging your head against the wall, right? As I am, trying to come up with something to give you, right? At least ideas. Best idea I can give you is wait. No trade is a trading decision. It's just being responsible and not forcing it. It's like, I'm going to be a trader, so I got to trade. It's a dangerous way to think, right? I think you sit tight. Oh, God, we looked at a few. We've been kind of around the block here. Solano, which has got a little bit of a... We got a little bit of a rip here. Okay, can we label it as an impulse? Yes. Is it pretty? No, definitely not. Now, here's a good example, right? So the Elliott here, it shows itself, right? So here we get a clear 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So clear Elliott here. Now I go into this. Okay. Subdivision almost doesn't matter. It's impulsive, right? We get push, retrace, push, retrace, push, retrace, right? Swing structure, very clear. Higher, high, higher, low, higher, high, higher, low, right? It's just easy, right? It's much of the reason why you see us moving more and more into market structure, right? Because it's either higher, 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 low, right? There's always market structure to be analyzed. Here with this Elliott count, I want to make this distinction. I'm not shitting on Elliott. When it's there, it's an advantage over market structure, over anything. It's an advantage, but it's particularly when the markets go quiet like this, or we have this drop in volatility. Trying to force counts on it ultimately are likely to lead to bad decisions, which likely lead to lost money, which lead to frustration. No one's having any fun. Okay, right? And now I know fun is not our goal here, but you got to enjoy the process, right? And if you just find yourself banging your head against the wall, as I have been for the last 2 hours, I'm not having any fun. I'd rather go trade traditionals, right? But the S&P has been just as crazy as well, right? It's just an unusual time in the market. I don't know. They're all challenging, but it's uniquely challenging right now, in my opinion. Right? I didn't take it, leave it. Tell me I'm full of shit. Okay. Well, so here we can work this here. We can work coming off of the 5. I'll just go ahead and again. I don't even care about the labeling. Right? Jesus Christ. You tell I'm having a day. Impulse. Okay. Well, I can get. There's a 3. Right? Oh, it doesn't go. Okay. Well, there's another 3. Oh. Okay, what are we doing? Well, there's another 3, right? So I can squeeze a WXY in here. Okay, legit, right? And we come right to, if this is 1 and this is 2, okay, right in the pocket. Now coming out of here, you got to make some, you got to go 1, 2, 1, 2, okay, 3. Well, you've got this wick here, but it's technically not part of the pivot of the 4, right? So you're kind of already doing a little bit of an Elliott dance there. It's not a clean impulse, but can we get it? Yeah. I mean, there's really no other way to count it. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's ugly, but is it an impulse? Okay, well, what do I got here? 1, 2, 3. Can't do that. Oh, it almost, again, let's not overcomplicate, right? If it's not obvious, if it's not giving me a clean 3, looks like I got a 5 here. Again, I don't even want to get into it. Right? It's is that a clean 3? Not really. I can probably go A, B, C, D, E into a triangle here to get that. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, sloppy, ugly Elliott. But at some point, right, you just got to go with the implication of the swing structure here. So, okay, likely I can squeeze a triangle in there. I'm on a 4-hour. If I go down to a 30-minute, I can probably get an A, B, C, D, E into the B. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not pretty, but there's a 5. Okay, 1, 2. Let's come in here, right? Is that a 1, 2? Well, it's valid so far, as in I've got a 1, I've got a higher low, right? So higher high, higher low. 3, 4, 5, right? Doesn't look like that certainly has the potential to come down. So let's wick off the 1. Maybe we can get a decent looking impulse to come out of here. Oh, that's not what I wanted. All right. I shouldn't be. What am I? Am I airing my laundry here? My frustration? I don't know what if I should be sharing all this with you guys. We're members, right? You're probably going through the same frustration. Right, you're looking for trades with nice setups and with nice structure, whether it be Elliott structure or just market structure. It's a lot of slop chop right now. Maybe it's just the summertime. Well, let's get over here. All right, okay. Can I call that a 1, 2? Okay, let's go with the implied swing or Elliott structure. 4. We don't know that that's done. Could be A, B. That would likely have more to go, or could be a triangle in the 4. Okay, do I want to buy that? Well, you know, if I'm jonesing for a trade, I'd be keeping an eye on this. Sharp here, drifting sideways, not progressing the trend. So you've got the ingredients here. You got the ingredients of a decent 4. I might just kind of wick it off here and say, okay, well, if I can get down here in this range here, I'm buying in the discount zone. Okay, maybe, you know, I wouldn't give it a lot of room. Why? Right? It's not a great looking count. Let's put this. Let's go to our wave 4 here. I wouldn't. Well, that's convenient, right? If this is the 1, and we're going to look for, we're anticipating or looking for an impulse, get that right on there. Well, we can't have it overlap the 1, so the 50 is your lowest. If you're looking for a trade, you really want the trade, right? In a good clean Elliott count, you want the 4 to hold between the 23 and the 38, right? It gives us a better looking 5. The deeper we come for the 4, right, the less likely we are to get a good 5. Now that's not a rule. That's just observation. So if we can hold in here, if it stays as a triangle, fuck whatever. Let's go to a 60. Let me give you something. Already looks like complexity. Oh, not quite a triangle yet. Let's see what we get here. If that'll hold in here, but certainly all the characteristics of a 4, right? Sharp here, sideways here. Okay, one more squirt up here. Maybe Solana will give us something. It's due. It's got hit pretty hard. Again, A, B, C, D, E into the B. Is that a good looking C? No, it's not. It's not. But that I wouldn't. At the end of the day, you're just going to have to just accept what's the structure of it. Is it a 3? It's not an impulse. So you go with the structure. Now, is this a 5? Well, not yet. Because if this is going to hold here and we start to roll over, this is going to be an X, and we're going to go down deeper. All right, found it. Let's go over to Ripple. Let's correct a mistake. This is my least favorite rule of Elliott. I fight this all the time. I get caught on this all the time. It doesn't cost me, well, perhaps it has. You got to get the full count here, right? I was working off of BitGet here, and you got to really appreciate what we have here and how wacky this is. You got to do the full count, right? Now, what you end up with here is another one of these 15 1-2s in a row. So off of the COVID low here, almost no other way to count that than as a leading diag, and it ain't pretty unto itself, but it's valid. Okay, 3 longer than 1, obviously 5 longer than 3, but the rule in Elliott here that I struggle with, is that in leading diag, 4 has to be longer than 2, right? Now that is going to cock block you in labeling in more ways than you're going to believe if you start to apply that. But that is the rule, right? If you're applying strict Elliott, 4 has to be longer than 2 in a leading diag. It's annoying, frustrating. It'll make you want to throw it out the window, but that is the rule. So you got to decide. See, I'm not opposed to breaking rules, but you have to know that you're breaking the rule, right? That's the key. To blindly breaking it because you don't know, a different story. If you know it and you see something here that you like beyond just being dictated by an Elliott count, you know, at least you understand what you're doing. So let's just look at what we're talking about here. Now, the count here is complex, right? There's a lot of complexity to it, but there's the 1. Okay, again, it takes a lot of Elliott skill to get all this labeling here. At the end of the day, it's a 3, right? That's what we've done, right? We've just done a 3, right? There's your correction. With all of that complexity in it, really, if you simplify it, right, that's what it is. It's just an ABC, right? But boy, is it a complex one. Now, again, people that are drawn to Elliott, they like the puzzle, right? I'm drawn to Elliott, right? It's what I was trained in. It frustrates me often, but it's what my foundational knowledge was, right? The mentors that I had in this business taught me Elliott Wave. What they taught me was fibs first, Elliott second, right? But when you're teaching, people want to go to the Elliott, right? So that became part of what we teach. ABC into the 2. So I've got a 1, 2. That's perfectly valid. Okay, now coming off of this low, this is COVID low, 1, 2. Now this, we got to go. We've got a leading diag here, right? Valid, right? 4 longer than 2, 3 longer. Pardon me, 5 longer than 3. So I've got a good leading diag into a 1, retrace into the 2, right? It's deep. Right, as you would anticipate. A leading diag implies a deep retracement. Right now, where I got caught on this, and thanks, right? That's why I hired these guys, right? Because if I make a mistake, they're going to let me know, and I'm going to let you know. You can't count this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? You can't do it. Here's I had, and I don't know if it was a live stream, may have been a vid, right? You can't do that. Right, even though it just barely in arithmetic, this here I'll show you. Right, this is it's really tempting to do this. Get it right on that low. Am I on it? Right, really tempting. Right, I got to get it right on there. Right, there's the 3. Right, so it's easy to look at this and go 1, 2. Oh. Let me get out of log, right? So it's a little bit easier to see when you're in arithmetic, right? You don't right? Longer is longer, right? So arithmetic, longer, right? What's the problem? The 4 is not longer than the 2. So if I put that really stands out when you go to logarithmic, right? So you can't do it. You can't go 1, 2 because here I'll just show you, right? This is, as I was reminded. Right, you can't go 1, 2, 3 because 4 would have to be down here to match the 2. Right, that's an Elliott rule that I don't like, but it's not about what I like. It's about, right? If you want to learn Elliott Wave, that's a rule you need to at least be aware of. Right, and my bad for not catching that. Again, that's why I hire the best guys around. Okay, so 1, 2. Now so what that means is, it's still a leading diag. It's just it has to be 1, 2, 1, 2, right? So on the highest degree, you've got this monster 1, 2. Then the next degree we go 1, 2. Then the next degree we go 1, 2. It's a lot of 1, 2s. Now, what that implies is wildly bullish because every one of those 1, 2s has got to get its 3. So just thinking of the biggest one, got to get its 3. We're talking, well, here, let's do it just for fun, right? So here, oh, Jesus, we're even going back. God, if we go all the way back, oh, this is 2020. Here, let's just do it, just for, since we're here, right? If this is going to get to its 3. Right? What are we looking for up here? Right, just using standard distance. All this has to go up here. Right, we're talking for the 3 here, $35 ripple. What are we at right now? 60 cents? 50, 60 cents? If that's where we're going, well, I'm long Ripple. I'm in spot, not trading with leverage, and fully aware that this is going to fly or die based on what the SEC decides. U.S. government is going to dictate what happens here. But if I shouldn't say, but well, if saner heads prevail, this should go. There is a very real use case for Ripple. Let the government sort it out. But we have a practical use case here for crypto, right? Beyond just store value, beyond smart contracts. The use cases are going to become more and more apparent. But right now, there aren't that many. Let's be real about it. There aren't that many. Smart contracts, yeah. Okay. Where's the application? Coming. I know. They're coming. But they're not here yet. So you can't say, oh, well, I can completely understand why I need to buy Ethereum because all this, my real estate deal was done with, oh, shit, I wasn't in an escrow firm. I was using a smart contract. That's not that reality yet. Not yet. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Right, looking for $35 for Ripple. Right now, if that's going to complete all the way to a 5, we're talking well over $100 Ripple. That's why it's worth considering having a piece of it. The technicals, the potential reality of a use case, and the hope that government doesn't fuck it up. Okay, so there's Ripple. All right, let me get off of that one, right? So anyone who's in that, oh, here's one, right? I don't like to leave without showing a loser. Beautiful setup here, right? We looked at this twice, right? And I got to this, oh shit, where was I? think I was over on Into the Block, right? Looking for anything bullish here and came up with this beautiful ABC right into the golden zone. Again, I take that trade 100 out of 100. I would never not take that setup under any circumstances. But what happens, right? I mean, you've got trading principle number 4 in effect, right? So that's a golden corner that fails. A failure to make the median line, Andrew's trading principle number 4, if I can get it out of my mouth. Failure to make the median line sets up a move equal to or greater than the swing that failed to get there. Well, there it is. Equal to and greater than, right? So that's a hard break. So that while good looking start, now I was in this. Once you get here, I mean, yeah, I took a loss, but a very small one. There's no, my stop was not down here, right? There's no reason to do that. There's no reason to say, oh, well, I'm again assuming you're trading. And now if you're, well, even if you're trying to just develop a holding position here, that's not great. That's not a great result here. This now, what do we do with this, right? So you had all the ingredients here for an ABC and a 1-2, right? It's all there, all set up to go, right? Welcome to trading reality, right? As good as they can look, gorgeous, just perfect setup. There's your fail, right? Now, is it still a golden corner? Could it, well, pardon me, it's definitely not still golden. Can it still be corrective 2? Well, we can consider a possible 2 here. We'd have to relabel. I'd probably do it this way. Oh, Jesus, come here. WXY. You know, is that a good 3 in that X? Well, let's go. Let's look at a 4-hour. See, do we really have it there? ABC. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That looks actually fairly good for that finish. Let's tighten this up. So you see what here? I think this is we had originally considered this. Pardon me. Here, let's get this done here. So bring that in here. I think I had this originally and changed it to accommodate what looked like a good low here. So this is, let's get you on the low here. I think we have to do it this way. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the 3. We do. So 1, 2, right? Mighty low to the, right? Doesn't overlap it. So it's legit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the 3. Sideways slop, classic 4, doesn't progress the trend. Now up for the 5, right? So that is a 1. Okay, well here, all right, maybe that Elliott is helping me a little bit there. A, B, C into a W. Okay, that flies. A, B, Elliott shuffle, maybe. Is it technical, right? So that this is where, okay, we got to get off the, if we have to get off the Elliott, how's it, right? So I'm not saying there's not a way to trade these. It's just when the Elliott's not there, stop worrying about it, right? Just work geometry, market structure. Our favorite fib. I mean, it looks like they got a series here. So you start to dig in and go, wow, why? Why is this happening? Right, that's a little wiki, but they got through. Back one. Hard to say. First one's good. Second. It's an unusual time in the markets. I don't know if it's nervous money or just a lack of volume or just summer doldrums as a result of lack of volume. But WXY is about all we can look at here with any sense of conviction. I would not buy it down here. I'd wait until I had something like, a 5 to come out of here, and I'd wait for the retrace. So GMX, so now hurry up and wait. Right? This is not something I would trade until I get that first 5 out of there. Okay, right? So it's a loser. This is kind of interesting. Also, this came from PK. He teed this up for me here. This is interesting here, and I'm going to wrap here since you guys are probably tired of hearing me bitch. So I'm over on KuCoin here for veracity to the dollar tether. This is a 12-hour. Now this is a decent example, and I'm going to end here with a note of optimism on this TA here. Now, is there any question about whether or not there's an Elliott count here? Right? 12 out of 12 Elliotticians are going to call that an impulse, right? There is no mistaking it. That's when Elliott's useful, right? When you're grinding. I spent 2 hours grinding through a bunch of counts. Shit, sorry about that. Oh, that shit. Maybe I can edit that out. Grinding to find something here. But this is, I mean, they don't get much better than this, right? Get that. Oh, it's my wave 4 here, right? So right in the pocket, finishes with just textbook. Like, can't script them, can't make them up, right? I know it's easy to think, oh, that Elliott Wave shit. Look at that. That Elliott Wave shit, right? That was nice in the 30s, but in 2023, oh, not in crypto, man. We're too happening right now. I'm making the point here that it's not always there. Don't expect it to always be there. 1, 2, 3. Look at that 2618 retrace to the 38 up. Just stellar in veracity. Now note, I am in log scale. Big difference. It's still there, arithmetic, but boy, can you work with that? No, you can't, right? So you have to go to log scale. Now, what's interesting, right, because we often ponder this, is our measured move algo working in log scale, right? We don't have to wonder, where I've shown it so many thousands of times. I'd like to think that's not a question mark anymore. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Drop dead simple. A 5-year-old can spot that. Okay, well, I've got kind of a long retrace, and wow, that's interesting. Look at this. So this is such a nice example. So we come right to this demand zone here. The last little, we'll go ahead and call it an order block before we launch, right? Leaving all of this imbalance behind it. So this is a rip-roaring launch, right? Now that's 2021. But now look, all the way we drift back down here and we stop right at that order block. Now I know what you're thinking. Oh, okay. Well, certainly when we look at it this way, well, okay, there's no measured move there, obviously, right? Nothing there we can work with. Or is there? Again, I can't make this up. I say that a lot. Well, let's get the... Oh, anticlimactic. Let's get our just golden zone on here. And let's come back at that again. You know what what's going to be there. Is there anything else to say? I don't know that there is. Right? Is that viable? Well, you might say, well, you might say, well, I was a little unsure, right? So, you know, I've heard you describe this, Sam, before. You know, you kind of wait for that 5. Wait for that first 5 to come out of here. Well, you got that's a 12-hour. You got one hell of a 5. Again, any dispute, right? 12 out of 12, 20 out of 20, 100 out of 100. Elliottians are going to tell you that's an impulse because it is an impulse. Well, after an impulse, what are we looking for? I'm trying to get you on there. That's 65 to the tick. Think the algos are in here? I don't know. You tell me. I mean, I don't want to draw these conclusions for you. I'll let you draw your own conclusions. This is 65, golden zone, golden zone, golden zone. Now this actually went a little deep. All right, so if we look over here, we went a little deeper into this 1-2. You're like, whoa, ho, ho. Well, we're back right to the 618, right back to the 618, but that's been tapped already once. Now, what are we running into here? Well, it's been a lot of golden zones here. Oh, come here. All right, so could it be we're running into a 50 here? All right, where's that algo's target is down here. Right? Are we going down? If we're going down here and we break this golden zone, right? The whole bullish idea falls apart. Right now now it's not the 2 at the golden zone, which gave us that nice one. Here it is again, right? 1, 2, 3. Pardon me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is. Oh, you'd likely have to do this A, B, C, right? Again, simplify it when you can simplify. There's probably Elliottians that say, oh, that's just lazy, but I would strongly disagree. Always better to simplify if you can without damaging the probabilities of of the advantages that come from a good Elliott count. But you don't need to go into shit. Oh, is that a WXYXZ in there? Okay, do we have an impulse? Yes. Do we have the foundations of a 3? Yes. Lower, here's a higher high. Change of character here as we break here. Lower high, lower low, right? So you can, if you want to get in there and fuck around with it, you can, but there's your 3. That's essentially what we're saying is here. We had a 5 followed by a 3. Now, what's coming off of that? Here, I'm back to, well, I got a fair value gap here being mitigated. So are we coming back again? Is this one, what would it be? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Again, it's too many 1-2s. Careful of that. But as you're sitting here right now, trying with your Elliott hat on, you're going, well, okay, I can see what happened there. I can see this golden zone. I can see this 50 here. I know that's got targets below, but I'll worry about that when this low breaks, if it does. If this low breaks, right, this entire count has to be reconsidered. Well, it certainly has to be relabeled because we're not going to go 1-2. Right, of all the Elliott rules, there's very few that we can't get on the edge of, right? But the 2 being below the start of the 1, that's unbreakable. Okay, so 1, 2, all right, maybe, but well, okay. So if it is 1, 2, we got to have a 5 that comes out of here. So the fact that we've got another 1, 2 isn't like, oh shit, come on, man, another 1, 2. Well, it has to be there. If this is going to come out impulsively, it has to be. Right, so there's got to be that 3, 4, 5. So to think, oh fuck, another 1, 2. Well, okay. Let's see if we get a 3. So far, we can't get a 3. We got one here. We got a 1 here, and we got a 1, 2. Right, we had this beautiful. Right, that we had the big one. That one, gorgeous, technical, gorgeous and technical in log scale. 1, 2, gorgeous and technical. Now, is it going to get ugly now? Well, if Bitcoin rolls over, this is going to dump with it, likely, as will all of crypto if Bitcoin dumps. Maybe not all of it. There'll be some fucking meme coin that'll pump, but the majority of the majors will go with it. So Bitcoin needs to hold. If Bitcoin holds, we can come out of here with an impulse. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, right? But let's get a completed impulse here in this series of, okay, I got some very good larger degree 1, 2s, but can I get now something going in, or this is just going to be another, okay, well, something that just fell apart, right? Because it's just, crypto's not ready yet. It's not time, right? We all got way too excited, I think perhaps too early. And then you got government involved, and they're guaranteed to fuck things up. Okay, so with all that said here, there's 40 minutes. That's about all I got. Usually more enthusiastically bullish here. I think we're all a little bit frustrated here. The crypto is just stagnant. Stagnant, right? Now, there's plenty of things to trade outside of crypto. Let's not forget that, right? We try to mix in as many traditional assets as we can in what we're covering. But I just figured I'd give you a crypto rundown today. All right, guys, that's all I got. I'll be back next week on Wednesday. We'll be doing our live streams. Those have been going well. We're getting some good feedback on those. Members always post up, and I always appreciate that. So hopefully you guys get a nugget or two in my frustration and trying to bring you something that's workable, right? Didn't sour your weekend, right? I won't let it sour mine. Okay, guys, have a good one. Talk to you next week.